Beloved, let's clear something up. Being kind and being a people pleaser are not the same thing. Kindness comes from courage, grounded in truth. People pleasing comes from fear, rooted in insecurity. One says, I care about you and I also care about me. The other says, I care about your comfort more than I care about my own peace. And that second one, it costs you every time. When we confuse kindness with the need to be liked, we abandon ourselves. We say yes when we want to say no. We laugh at things that don't feel funny. We smile when we're hurting. That kind of friendliness might look like harmony, but inside it creates a storm. It disconnects us from our truth, and slowly, quietly, we begin to disappear inside our own lives, showing up for everyone but ourselves. People pleasing is often praised. You're the nice one, the reliable one, the easygoing one. But let me ask you this. What's the cost of being known as the person who never says no? The person who makes space for everyone but never claims space for themselves? The applause we get for being overly available can become a cage that keeps us from stepping into our full worth. Because true kindness includes self-respect. It doesn't require self-abandonment. Let's be honest, sometimes people pleasing is just fear dressed up in a polite smile. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being labeled difficult. But beloved, you are not difficult for having needs. You are not unkind for protecting your time, your energy, your emotional capacity. Real kindness is honest. It says, I love you and I won't betray myself to keep you comfortable. Kindness shows up in truth. It sets boundaries with grace. It says yes with joy and no with clarity. It doesn't apologize for showing up fully or stepping back when needed. People pleasing, on the other hand, says yes out of obligation. It breeds resentment, drains your joy, and keeps relationships shallow because when you're always performing, people connect with the mask, not the real you. The irony is that the more you try to be everything for everyone, the less you're truly seen. The more you overextend to be liked, the more invisible you become. People can't respect what isn't real. If all they ever meet is your agreeable, polished, ever-smiling surface, how will they ever connect with your heart, your truth, your depth? Beloved, you were not born to be agreeable. You were born to be authentic. And sometimes authenticity looks like not answering the phone. Sometimes it looks like disappointing someone else so you don't disappoint yourself. Sometimes it looks like saying, I care about you, but I can't do this right now. That's not cold, it's courageous, it's not mean, it's mature. So let's redefine kindness. Let it be fierce when needed. Let it include fierce boundaries, fierce honesty, and fierce self-respect. Let it begin with how you treat yourself. Because when you start showing up from that place, when your yes comes from peace and your no comes from wisdom, you stop people pleasing and start leading with purpose. And that kind of kindness changes everything. Beloved, let's tell the truth. Being always available might feel generous, but over time it can become a trap. When you make yourself endlessly accessible, people stop seeing your time, your energy, your presence as a gift. They begin to see it as a given. They stop saying thank you. They stop asking if it's a good time. They just take. And not necessarily out of malice, but because you've taught them to expect it. You see, when we constantly pick up the phone, answer every text immediately, say yes to every invitation, or drop everything at someone's request, we send an unspoken message. My needs can wait. Yours come first. And while that may win you approval in the short term, it almost always breeds entitlement in the long run. People start assuming you'll always be there because you always have been. And the moment you try to pull back, set a boundary, take a break, say no, you'll see just how quickly appreciation turns into irritation. The truth is, without clear boundaries, your presence loses value. What's always there is rarely honored. It's the same reason we walk past the same beautiful tree every day and forget it's there, or why people will scroll past words of wisdom just because they come from someone they're used to. Familiarity without boundaries breeds blindness. And when people stop seeing you, they start using you. Not necessarily with bad intent, but because they never had to pause and ask, is this okay with you? Let's be clear. Love is not about self-erasure. You are not more loving because you are more available. You are not more worthy because you are always reachable. Your worth is not measured by your ability to be on call for everyone at all times. You are a human being, not a vending machine of emotional labor, comfort, or convenience. And if people only value you when you're at their service, beloved, that's not connection. That's consumption. Some of us learned early that love was earned through sacrifice, that if we were always helpful, always present, always agreeable, we'd stay safe or stay loved. But that's not real love. It's a survival pattern, and patterns that once protected us can become prisons when we outgrow the need for them. Maturity says, I can still be kind, I can still be loving, but I don't have to be constantly available to be worthy. Boundaries are not rejection, they're protection of your peace, your purpose, your identity. Saying, I'm not available right now, doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to show up fully when you are present. It means you trust that healthy relationships can hold the weight of your no without falling apart. And the ones that can't, that's not your failure, that's their limitation. You deserve to be honored, not just used. You deserve relationships that don't just take, but also give. Relationships that understand your time is sacred, your energy is finite, and your presence is a privilege, not a product. And the only way to create that kind of connection is through boundaries. Boundaries teach people how to honor your humanity. They teach people how to treat you with respect. So, beloved, stop equating your availability with your value. You are not more lovable when you're worn out. You are not more valuable when you're constantly accessible. Choose presence over performance. Choose quality over quantity. And trust this, the people who truly love you will respect your boundaries, not resent them. Because healthy love knows that distance does not destroy connection. Entitlement does. Beloved, love is beautiful, but by itself, it's not enough to build a healthy, mutual, life-giving relationship. Love is the soil, yes, but limits are the fences that keep the garden from being trampled. Love without boundaries turns into burnout. Respect, on the other hand, is what keeps love sustainable. Respect says, I see your value and I will not cross the lines that protect your peace. If love is the fire, limits are the fireplace. Without the structure, the fire spreads and destroys. Many of us were taught to believe that if someone loves us, they'll automatically treat us well. But experience teaches us otherwise. Someone can love you deeply and still dishonor you regularly, not because they're evil, but because without clear limits, there's no structure for accountability. Love without structure leads to chaos. Affection without boundaries leads to assumption. And in the absence of limits, people often mistake closeness for permission. You can care for someone and still unintentionally harm them. That's why limits matter. That's why conversations about boundaries aren't just helpful, they're holy. Limits aren't punishments, they're clarity. They tell others how to honor us, how to handle our hearts, how to show up in ways that build, not break, trust. And the people who truly care for us won't be offended by our limits. They'll be grateful for the clarity. See, respect is not a vibe, it's a pattern. It shows up in how someone responds when you say no. It shows up when you share a need and they don't dismiss it. It shows up when someone loves you enough to ask, is this okay with you? Limits are not walls that push love away. They're doors that invite real love in. The kind that doesn't just say, I care about you, but also lives it out in consistent, honoring action. We often get this twisted, thinking that love should be enough to fix disrespect. We forgive and forgive, hoping that love alone will heal what boundaries could have prevented. But beloved, you are not responsible for teaching grown people how to treat you by suffering in silence. You are allowed to say, I love you, and I still won't tolerate being spoken to that way. You are allowed to say, I'm here for you, but not at the cost of my mental health. That's not rude. That's healthy. What we allow becomes what we normalize. When we accept behavior that dishonors us because we love someone, we unintentionally give them permission to keep doing it. But love that is not held accountable becomes love that is careless. And if we don't protect ourselves with limits, love alone can wear us down instead of lift us up. Beloved, you deserve a love that doesn't ask you to shrink, silence yourself, or self-sacrifice endlessly. You deserve a love that says, I will honor your boundaries because your well-being matters to me. Real respect doesn't flinch at healthy limits. It flourishes in them. And if someone walks away because you ask for more respect, let them go. Anyone who leaves you for having standards was never there for the real you to begin with. So remember this, love is powerful, but respect makes it safe. Respect creates the conditions where love can grow roots and bear fruit. Respect isn't about fear, it's about mutual honor. And honor requires boundaries. Speak them with kindness, enforce them with grace. And trust this, any love worth keeping will grow stronger, not weaker, in the presence of your limits. Beloved, authenticity is a beautiful, powerful thing. It is the gift of showing up as your true self, the raw, unfiltered version of who you really are. But let's get this straight. Authenticity does not mean being available to everyone. If you're being your true self with everyone you meet without discernment, without selectivity, then you might be giving pieces of yourself to people who don't have the capacity to handle it. And that's not real connection. It's just exposure. Authenticity requires boundaries. And those boundaries demand selectivity. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of who you are. You wouldn't just give your house keys to anyone who knocks on your door, would you? You wouldn't share your most personal thoughts with just anyone you meet. And yet, many of us throw open the doors of our hearts to anyone who asks because we feel this pressure to be open or vulnerable. But vulnerability without discernment isn't bravery, it's risk. It's being unprotected. And when we share ourselves without selecting the right people to share with, we risk the chance of being misunderstood, misused, or hurt. Authenticity is not about oversharing. It's about choosing to share with intention. It's about being real, but also knowing where to draw the line. Not everyone has earned the right to know your story, your struggles, or your heart. The deepest parts of you are sacred, and giving them away carelessly cheapens their value. So select who gets to enter that sacred space of your life and be wise in your choices. Protect your authenticity by guarding the places where it can truly thrive. Many of us fear rejection, and that fear sometimes drives us to show up fully even when it's not safe or healthy. But true authenticity isn't about needing people to accept you. It's about showing up as you are, regardless of their response. But knowing that some people are better suited to receive you than others, some people will see your authenticity as an invitation to walk alongside you, while others might try to take from you what they have no intention of nurturing. And when that happens, your authenticity can get twisted, misunderstood, or exploited. Remember this, authentic relationships are mutual. They don't drain you, they nourish you. They allow both people to show up as themselves in their full complexity with room for growth and grace. But in order to find those relationships, you need to practice selectivity. Authenticity doesn't mean being an open book to everyone. It means knowing when to keep a chapter closed until you find the right person who will honor it. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to be cautious. You don't have to reveal every part of yourself immediately. You don't have to wear your heart on your sleeve for everyone to see. True intimacy, the kind that lasts, is built over time with the right people. It's cultivated through trust, respect, and mutual care. And those kinds of relationships don't happen by accident. They happen because you choose who gets to see the truest version of you and who doesn't. Your authenticity is precious and it deserves to be treated as such. Not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. Not everyone will love you, and that's okay too. You don't need everyone to. The people who matter are the ones who see you, appreciate you, and respect you enough to meet you at your level of truth. These are the people who will protect your authenticity as fiercely as you do. And when you find them, hold on to them, cherish them, because they are rare. Beloved, authenticity is a gift, but it's not a gift that needs to be given to everyone. It's a sacred offering that only belongs in the hands of those who will honor it, protect it, and cherish it. So be selective, be discerning, be wise. The world doesn't need more open books. It needs people who are rooted in their truth, who know when to be open and when to keep certain pages closed, waiting for the right person to read them. That's the kind of authenticity that has power. That's the kind of authenticity that transforms. Beloved, this truth may be hard to swallow, but it is one that holds the power to change your life. You teach people how to treat you. Every day, through your actions, your words, your responses, and your boundaries, you are communicating your worth to others. The way you allow people to treat you is the message you send about how much respect and care you deserve. If you consistently tolerate disrespect, neglect, or mistreatment, you are unconsciously teaching others that such behavior is acceptable. You are setting the standard for how they can treat you, and if you want change, you must first change what you accept. This doesn't mean you are responsible for others' behavior. It means you are responsible for how you respond to it. Every yes that you say when you feel no in your heart, every time you keep quiet when something bothers you, every time you make yourself smaller to fit someone else's comfort zone, you are teaching them that their treatment of you doesn't have consequences. And when we do this over time, we lose ourselves. We become the reflection of the people we've allowed to shape us, rather than the person we were meant to be. The power lies in the boundaries we create or fail to create. When you set a boundary, you communicate what you will and won't tolerate. You teach people that your time, energy, and emotions are sacred. If you allow someone to repeatedly disrespect you without addressing it, you're telling them that your dignity is negotiable. But when you stand firm and when you say, this behavior isn't okay with me, you teach people that you are worthy of respect. And the more consistently you hold that line, the clearer your worth becomes to others and to yourself. Now, this doesn't mean you should put walls up or cut people off at the first sign of discomfort. No, beloved. It's about finding the balance between grace and accountability. It's about speaking your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be, and doing so from a place of love and self-respect. You don't need to be harsh, but you do need to be clear. And when you approach the world with that level of clarity, you attract people who will treat you with the same level of respect you show yourself. The truth is, many of us have been conditioned to believe that we have to earn respect. But respect isn't earned, it's demanded. Through the way we live, the way we set limits, and the way we refuse to accept less than we deserve. When you stop chasing people's approval and instead focus on teaching them how to respect you, something shifts. You begin to attract the people who are aligned with your values. And for those who resist your boundaries, for those who attempt to take advantage of your kindness or availability, you must recognize that this is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to honor your truth. The challenge, beloved, is in the consistency. It's in recognizing those moments when you feel uncomfortable, when someone crosses a line, and choosing to act on it instead of letting it slide. It's in showing up for yourself with the same level of care and compassion that you would show someone you love. People will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. If you ignore your own needs, people will ignore them too. If you constantly put yourself last, they will do the same. The beauty of this lesson is that you can change it at any moment. You can start today, right now, teaching people that your time, your heart, your energy, your well-being, your very presence is something that deserves to be cherished and respected. The next time you feel the pull to sacrifice your peace for someone else's comfort, ask yourself, is this really how I want to teach others to treat me? And when the answer is no, choose differently. In doing so, you begin to reclaim your power, your dignity, and your self-worth. Beloved, you teach people how to treat you, not with your words alone, but through your actions, your choices, and your boundaries. You are the author of how others engage with you, so let your actions speak louder than your fears. Let your boundaries reflect your worth, and let your self-respect be the foundation for all your relationships. You are deserving of love, of honor, and of the highest respect. Now go ahead and teach the world exactly how to treat you.